Eronmosele Aziba, financial analyst in London. He takes a look at a lot of technology. Joins us now. Eronmosele, good morning to you. I want to start with the first video with the cell phone. Is this a sign that mobile phones are now becoming the center of control for us? I mean, we've got smart homes, which you can control with your phones. You can convert your mobile phone into a TV remote control. What's happening here?
Good morning, Rotis, and thank you for having me again. I think we can definitely say the mobile phone is taking center stage in terms of development and technology. So in terms of access as well, we're seeing that sort of like interconnectivity between different devices. Your mobile phone can start your car, for instance, with the example in BMW. Your mobile phone can operate the lights and switches in your homes. Your mobile phone can operate pretty much everything that most of the technological appliances that we use these days. So the mobile phone definitely is taking center stage, mostly because of the ease of usage, accessibility as well, and with the proliferation of cloud technology where everything is connected. The mobile phone definitely is taking center stage.
You know, Eronmosele, there was a time where if I lost my wallet, I would almost cry, thinking that, oh my goodness, my money, my debit cards, and so on and so forth. Now it's my phone. I mean, my phone ranks higher than my wallet, to where if I lose it, what about risks in giving mobile phones this much control?
Yes, of course. And it's funny that you should say that. In the last 4 to 5 months, I'm not sure I've actually held physical cash because I can just use my phone, just tap and make payments as I need to. But of course, with increased usage, there are attendant risks. So there are risks around privacy, for instance. There's been a lot of issues, a lot of complaints and discussions around your phone's listening to your conversations. We have a conversation now about cars, for instance, and then 5 minutes later, I'm surfing social media and I'm seeing adverts of cars. So there's that. There's also the fact that there's also the security concern. So if your phone gets stolen or gets lost, it then means someone else probably has access to all those things that are connected to your phone. So that's definitely a serious concern that one would need to take into account, because there's that exposure. So with increased connectivity and everything being in one central location, it means if someone gains access to that central location, it puts you at a significant risk.
I mean, okay, so to vehicles then, the BMW, we've moved from keys to keyless entry, push to start. You've got phones now that can start it. What's next? Are we moving to another level where it's possible, it may not even be mobile phones, I don't know, you can wave your hand and start a car? Where are we going to?
Oh, definitely. I think we would also transition to biometrics, for instance, so starting your cars with your own unique ID, which would essentially be your fingerprint or, facial recognition. So issues like that, again, it comes back to security and trying to make things more secure. I mean, with the fingerprint, that tends to be quite secure. As well, as opposed to a key that someone else could steal and then gain access to your car, or like your phone that someone else could steal and then gain access to that. With fingerprint technology, it's a bit different. They sort of need your finger. So yes, there's definitely that transition as there's more interconnectivity. The producers as well are also looking at security risks and how to make things more secure, and also how to make things easier in general for its users.
Now, I want to move to the video game part. We're seeing like cross-selling or collaboration between BMW and Sony, where you can link up your PlayStation and play there. Clearly entertainment, but we just had your human resources executive in our previous segment talking about how almost, less people are working from home. Vehicles now, I mean, can you have a conference in your car? Can your vehicle now become your office if you're able to hook up your PlayStation and play and so on and so forth? Where are cars going as far as inside the car? What can be done now and in the future?
Yeah, I think there's definitely that focus on trying to make, with proliferation of Internet of Things, for instance, you're trying to make everything that has access to internet as comfortable as possible. So at the moment, we're talking about self-driving cars. We're trying to make the car more comfortable for users, add additional features to it that makes it a more attractive proposal to the potential users. Of course, that comes with its risks, because you're obviously not expected to be driving and be, playing video games or watching videos or anything like that, at least at this point, since it's not a self-driving vehicle. But it's evident that there's that deliberate effort that is being put into place to make, things as like focusing on the overall human experience and the general comfort that you get to use from that you get from using these tools. For instance, having video games in your cars, or like having coolers in your car where you can keep drinks, or things like that. It's all about that overall experience and trying to add more features to it that makes it more homely. They're trying to get you to use the product as much as possible, which is why they would also add additional features to it to try to keep you on board. So definitely there's that focus. And with regards to the other point that you mentioned, I think this is an interesting partnership that we're seeing. I think across the automotive industry, we're seeing interesting partnerships between traditional car makers and other tech giants. So you're seeing car makers partnerships with Google, for instance, and running Google's operating system. So again, it goes back to that sort of like interconnectivity that you're seeing across the industry. And we expect to see more partnerships like that going into the future.
Final question for you. We saw how COVID-19 accelerated working from home. We now have, devices like phones. Your entire office can be on your phone. We've got automobiles that allow you to do more away from the office. Is the physical office under more of a threat now? How do you see it?
I wouldn't say it's under like more of a threat, but what I would say is the nature of work definitely is changing, or has changed, and is still changing. So now you have a lot more companies that are adopting, a hybrid working system. So come in on some days, work from home on some other, work from home on some other days. So there's that culture of, working from home. Instead of coming into the office physically for certain meetings, you can do them virtually. But the reason why I wouldn't say that going to the physical office would be totally eliminated is there's also the social interaction benefit of working from a physical space with other people, which, despite best efforts by providers of video conferencing technology, still just isn't the same. You'd miss out on certain like human nuances that you get from that sort of like human interaction, which is why I feel like that physical office space would still be there. Maybe you have smaller spaces now because you don't need as many people in the office at a certain point in time. But I wouldn't say like physical working spaces are going, at least at this point in time.
Interesting conversations. It's really, really fascinating seeing what technology is doing. Eronmosele Aziba, financial analyst, joining us from London. Thank you so much for your time. We appreciate it.